If your mother, who passed to the other world a year ago, is now reincarnated, how can mediums speak to her in the heavenly dimension? Hi, this is Angel Pam, and this is my pilot episode of my podcast, Answers from Spirit. If your mother, who passed to the other world a year ago, is now reincarnated, how can mediums speak to her in the heavenly dimension? Hi, this is Angel Pam, and this is my pilot episode of my podcast, Answers from Spirit. This is a common concern many people have, and quite frankly, people stress about it unnecessarily. I assure you that your mother's soul, when it passes to the other worlds, can absolutely reincarnate into a new life and simultaneously hold those memories on the soul level of her love bond with you. Please understand that when we incarnate into a human life, we actually don't bring the entirety of our soul into the lifetime. This is a mysterious just thing that happens. It's a consensus among mediums that our full soul energy is not present with us, at least most of the time, while we are incarnated in a human life. There are levels to this, but that is not what this podcast is about today. But please understand, whatever religion, human-led religion tells you, whatever fearful thinking might tell you, that the soul is larger than one human lifetime. The soul, the heaven-like dimension, the creator, are all larger than any human-led religion in itself or any one human lifetime. And that your mother's love for you on a soul level is larger than any human ideology or one lifetime as well. And that your mother's soul can be, and it always is in actually the other world, holding those memories of that strong love between you eternally, even as she incarnates into 100 new lifetimes. I just wanted to clear this up because I feel that people get so stuck in ideology. And I say this with 100% respect to every religion people have if they're using it from their heart and humility. I do not choose favorites. I do, however, need to recognize soul sovereignty, which is that the creator, the universe, our souls are larger than anything in the incarnate world, and that your mother's love for you is stronger than anything in the incarnate world as well, and it will not be diminished by her passing to the other worlds, which is sort of the classical definition of why we do mediumship, is to prove life after death, but it's also to prove that love. If you talk to any actual medium, they will tell you their experience is that it's not just that that consciousness survives death, it's the love. The love is even bigger. The love for you grows exponentially being in that soul energy. It does not end with their life, and it does not end when their soul chooses to reincarnate into new human lifetimes or other kinds of lifetimes, which is possible. So please hold this in your heart of your understanding of yourself and your loved ones, that their love for you will only grow and evolve, not not end because now they are another human lifetime. In fact, oftentimes what souls in the other world will say to me, so for example, like if a husband passes and his wife is still alive, and here she is, 27 years old, and what to do? Should she find new love in her life, or should she pine away and waste her life for the love of the one in the other world? And very often I'll get this message from a spouse in the other world where they will say, please bring my love, please bring my love forward, and see it as your heart just growing bigger, not you leaving me behind. It's just your heart is going to grow bigger now, and you're going to allow others to love you. It's like everything in the other world is expansive and less limited than it is here. That, even with the mysterious veils of what we don't understand about the other world and this world, and correlations with like physics, for example, that there are less finite worlds as well. One thing we do have a consensus on as well is that the other world is not as limited as the 3D world. And the 3D world, the incarnate world, is by definition all about, it's very measured, it's very limited. It's what it's all based on. So in the other worlds, yes, your mother can simultaneously love you forever, adore you forever, and actually expand on that love. Actually see even more reasons to love you from spirit, not have any blocks to love you from spirit. That she can see that, and that love is stronger than any human held belief that any religion has. I promise you that it is. There wouldn't be so many mediums in the world if that weren't the case. People who are not mediums wouldn't receive messages from their mothers in spirit if that weren't the case. There is no human that can tell you or stop this love, actually. You can block it for yourself, and people can temporarily block it for others just by diverting their attention elsewhere or making them afraid of it or confusing them. But the actuality is of things that this love still exists, and it will go on to exist regardless of what any incarnate human thinks. So that is just a kind of spiritual truth. And I just wanted to clear this up because it keeps coming up where people are just pushing ideology in this really mental, in every way mental way, of trying to understand these concepts of spiritual love, soul love, and the creator, and the higher order of ascended masters or angelic beings or other beings or star beings with the human mind, which we know is finite. We know that our minds are subscribed to the 3D world reality. And it's time to really look beyond these things and understand that if we can see things from the soul level, we don't have to have so much separation between us all. We don't have to have beliefs creating wars. We don't have to have such conflict. We can if we want to, and we can continue it if we want to, and we will continue it until we evolve. But we can tap into source, and we can at least start by feeling for ourselves, our own connection to that, and then our connection to other people on the soul level. I do believe this will heal the world. I do think it could heal the world. I think there is lots of resistance to that for many reasons, including that we're just even taught to have resistance to that. But I do believe that we are capable of making this jump in our own understanding from that our human minds do not know everything. And although there are mysterious things beyond the veil, there is also clear connection as possible. It is interdimensional communication. So I think we also have to stop looking for it to be like a telephone call. I think we have to understand it's a little more, I can't speak or you can't hear, but we're going to figure out a way to communicate. And it's interdimensional communication. So I think when we look at all the misinformation about psychics and mediums and the expectations, and I think there's a way that we need to be educated while not over limiting ourselves, but also being educated and having more realistic expectations. Like, I don't ever want to hear anybody say a psychic is 100% accurate. It's just not how humans are. Doctors aren't 100% accurate, so why would a psychic be 100% accurate, especially if it's real? I just need to throw these things out there. I think that we're at a point of evolution, a point of human awareness where we do understand we have at least intuition, and that more and more people are opening up to that direct communication with the other world, that it's time to have better expectations, more realistic expectations on what that communication can be, or what readings can be, or what, what all of this is. Because I just feel that people either come at it from this like cult of twin flames and guarantees, or they're coming from it with skepticism, but maybe there's a place in the middle, right? Of there's truth in this work and there's true connection, but it's not going to be 100% accurate. But yet there's a soul level of evidence that is tangible, that is proven, that could not be known in any other way. And I guess for the skeptics among us, well, perhaps the internet's the worst thing that ever happened to you, because you're going to think everyone's looking it up online. But any real medium, that's the last thing they would do, because it would just confuse their human mind. So I do think there's something in finding credible people, but I also think there's something in accepting your own experiences and not looking for 100% accurate, but perhaps looking for soul truth, perhaps looking, where's the light? And I say this as somebody who has predicted people's husbands with details and has predicted actually babies and talked to babies before they've been born, and has predicted, like, people are always coming to me, you predicted this, but I'm not in the business of predicting, actually. That's the interesting thing. I don't believe in fate. Guides, what I do is I can just connect with guides, and guides give me the information they want to bring through. If your dog in spirit wants you to know that they're going to be at your show opening, so you know that you have a show opening, right? That's their way of predicting through me. Your show's going to open. Like, the show you're worried about opening is going to open. If they want to share that message for me, I will share it, of course. But I'm not in a business of prediction, interestingly enough. I'm literally just a messenger for the spirit world. And I fully, proudly proclaim that I in no way see myself as 100% accurate, or even want that conversation, because I don't want people coming to me for guarantees. That's not what we do. Yes, I will come in for hope and encouragement, and to tell them what the spirit world sees for them. Absolutely. And sometimes that is predictive. I cannot deny that either. I know there's a whole school of the mediumship community, especially, where prediction is a bad word, right? And it's because it's so misunderstood, right? It's just, we need to hold on to the fact that we create our lives. We don't have a fate. We don't have a destiny. But we can be helped from the spirit world as a thing. And they do at times predict. I am not going to say that they don't. I was seeing predictions of world events even as a young teenager, and I'm not going to say that I didn't. But I think that's very different than people putting ads out of, oh, I'm a 99% accurate psychic, or that is, we've got to rethink that. And if you're out there doing that, I'm not judging you, by the way. Just like I'm not judging the people who are telling people they have soulmates. It's purely what we're all taught, and we all do our best in the beginning, unless we're actually that small portion of the field which are scamming people, and those people do exist. They do it on purpose. I'm not even like talking to them, because that's just, they don't even belong here, right? Like they're working for their own egos. But there are legitimate people who at times make the wrong choices, right? Just because that's the level of evolution we're on, or awareness that we're on. And I think it's important, as practitioners and as people who go to practitioners, that we start having the right expectations, and that we take responsibility for the readings we go to, and that we're getting the spirit world's perspective, but that we're still responsible for our lives, and that these people that we're going to may be very talented. I've certainly encountered some very talented people myself, but that they don't necessarily get it right all the time. In fact, sometimes the most evidential readings come from, they got it a little wrong, actually. But you knew exactly what they were talking about, because it just was so onto something that only you know about, actually. So I think part of my podcast's purpose is to educate people. It's to shed that light on, yes, this is real, and that's fabulous, and it's interdimensional, and we all have capabilities in it. But I think I also want to like educate people and steer them away from some of the ignorance out there, which I think sometimes wasn't done on purpose. I think sometimes it's just done out of lack of awareness, and that the evolutionary level we're on, and that all these things had to be hidden. So how are people supposed to come to a clear understanding about something they have to hide, or society suppresses, or society shames, or society judges, or society has fear around? How is someone supposed to consciously take that and work with it in the light, and improve their own understanding of their own work, or improve their understanding of how to work with people? I think that it's very brave souls that put it out there at all, still in 2024. So we're not here to judge anyone, but I do feel that this podcast, I do hope for it to be a voice of education and soul and light and reason at times. And I have many different plans for it, and I think it will be fun. And if there's something, a topic you want to hear about, please send me an email at angelarts777@gmail.com, angelarts777@gmail.com, and I will consider your idea for a podcast, and ask Spirit to channel about that topic. And I hope you enjoyed this one. All right, this is just getting started, so throw tomatoes at me if you want, but it'll probably be more polished in the future. So grateful to have you here, and please do send me your questions, because I really enjoy this and would love to include your ideas in my podcast. But this was one I just felt so strongly. I just kept seeing people wanting to talk about, well, how could reincarnation and mediumship exist at the same time? Or if my mom's already reincarnated, well, she's not going to come in for me. Or nobody has to stress about any of this, because the soul is larger than all of this. The soul is larger than all of this, and your mother's love for you is larger than all of this. And that is a beautiful and mysterious thing.